Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is May 21st, and today we're going to take a look at this upper level low moving across the Pacific Northwest here today. Kind of stationary almost as it just spins. You can see that counterclockwise rotation in the atmosphere. Already popping up showers eastern portions of the states on into Idaho. This will eventually extend into the Cascades, the Olympic Mountains, probably Vancouver Island and southern BC for the day today, as lightning will increase across the Cascades this afternoon. Some of these showers will even try to push off to the west over the lowlands of western Washington. I don't know how much they'll make it, but the foothills are a better bet than the lowlands themselves. You can see the SPC has a general thunderstorm risk there across the region. It does include western Washington, the Olympic Mountains here, and all the way into western Montana. So we're going to take a look at the infrared satellite imagery here now, and you can see this counterclockwise rotation as these showers pop up. And again, this will extend to the Cascades, probably the Vancouver Island and Olympic Mountains as we go through the day today. This will then push off to the east and probably still bring some thunderstorms to Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming through the day tomorrow, but this will give Washington and Oregon a break and a pretty nice day on Sunday as we have an approaching system out here. This is a fairly weak front though, and it's going to weaken even further as it gets towards the coastline. Very light precipitation with it, mainly just a high cloud producer for the region. But then in the extended, we're going to build a deeper trough offshore here that could bring some active weather on into our extended forecast. So stay tuned for that. Take a brief look around the rest of the country as well. There is a severe weather threat out east. Taking a little bit closer look here, you can kind of see that counterclockwise spin here, popping these showers up eastern Washington and Oregon here, and this will eventually extend back into the Cascades this afternoon. You can kind of see the cumulus bubbling up over Vancouver Island and the Olympics, southern BC, as the energy starts to flow from east to west into the Cascades. So it'll be interesting to see how much lightning these storms produce and just how far over the lowlands they get. Now, checking out CTAC, look at this morning. Looks like, or yesterday morning, we set a record low or tied a record low temperature with 40. I'll look to make sure that's official, but we were below average, but it was a nice sunny glorious day. So the below average temperatures really don't matter too much when you are, when you're kind of basking in the sunshine like we were in most of the lowlands of the western portions of Washington and Oregon yesterday. Now, taking a look around the rest of the country, there's some severe thunderstorm watches and warnings in effect already. Extreme heat advisory down there for southern Texas. Some frost and freeze warnings up through the northern states, Nebraska northward. And checking things out for Spokane. Look at this. They got a flood advisory out there. Some of these slow-moving storms could cause some localized flooding. This is generally west of Spokane out here across just northeast of Ritzville, Washington. Small hail and lightning are possible. Ponding of water on roads, minor mud flows near burn scars and farm fields. So checking things out across the rest of the country briefly, you can see that severe weather threat extends all the way from Canada all the way down through Texas. It's really probably the longest slight risk I've seen. A little bit of a tornado threat, mainly Texas northeast, all the way up into Maine. You can see that little 5% they added up there. But you can see our thunderstorm threat for the Pacific Northwest here. And you see as we go into tomorrow, this gets pushed off to the east. Just extreme portions of eastern Washington, Oregon, mainly Idaho, Montana, Wyoming. So checking this out today, this is the NAM3 cam. Let's see how much instability builds up during the day. As we go through the late morning hours, you see that really build up through eastern Washington, and the Cascades destabilize pretty well during the day today. So there is going to be some fuel for these storms to fire up here, but these are going to quickly die off as we lose the afternoon and evening heating from the sun. And then you can see Sunday that instability does push off a little bit over the Cascades. We'll probably get some cumulus growth during at least the first part of the day for Sunday before those high clouds start to move in on Sunday evening. And you'll notice as we get into Monday, we destabilize quite a bit less as this weak system is going to bring clouds over the area. We'll look at the extended here in a moment, but I want to show you this infrared satellite. This is the simulated imagery here according to the NAM3 cam, and you can see these showers kind of move from east to west into the Cascades here. How far will these get out over the lowlands here? Like I said, again, the foothills are probably a better bet than the lowlands, but you can see some of these showers popping up on the Olympics and Vancouver Island too. But pretty good cluster of storms. Looks like they're going through portions of eastern Washington, Idaho, and earlier through the afternoon through eastern Oregon as well. So heads up out there. Small hail and lightning are the main threats with that. And here is the European Let's put this motion here, and you can kind of see this build up during the day. It does have that lightning threat for southern BC, the Olympic Mountains, Vancouver Island, eastern Washington, northeast Oregon, and you can see this quickly cuts off as the sun sets tonight. But again, we're going to have that thunderstorm threat. It'll be mainly for the Cascades, moving off into the western Washington lowlands there for Washington. But you can see all of eastern Washington all the way through this evening does have a lightning threat with some of those very slow moving storms out there. This is the HRRR high resolution rapid refresh. This is its prediction on what the Doppler radar would look like. You can see some of these showers building up over Vancouver Island, the Olympics here. And the Cascades get going pretty good this afternoon, as you can see. And some of these try to make some headway out over the foothills and the lowlands of western Washington. Doesn't look like they'll make it too far. But again, like we said, there's a minor flood risk underneath any one of these slow-moving showers during the day today. Now look into the extended a little bit here. Here's that frontal system I mentioned out here on the infrared satellite imagery. As you push this towards the coastline, it really just disintegrates, brings a little bit of light precip maybe. And then a weak system, well, not a weak system, but a moderate system moves into the Queen Charlotte's here, bringing some mountain snows for BC, just a little bit of light precipitation for western Washington and the Cascades, before a deeper low kind of moves towards the coast here, or it just kind of sits and spins for a bit. And that could bring some diffluent flow aloft here, which could bring some thunderstorm threat later on into next week. So we'll continue to take a look at that. Now let's look and see what general ridge and trough position is coming up into this next week. You can see Sunday we do get that ridging. That's why we're going to have a nice day on the day Sunday. We're probably going to get up to the low 70s for many areas around Seattle, and even warmer down at the Willamette Valley as you see this trough move off. But then you can see even early next week, we get a little clip of that troughing there, and the ridge tries to hold out, but this is starting to be a pretty good gradient here as more troughing does develop, and an even deeper portion of this trough fills in off of the coast of west coast of North America here. So we'll have to watch this one. That's a more robust troughing here on into next weekend. We'll watch that one in the following days. And then you can see maybe some ridging on into the extended after that. So we are almost to June, so anytime Mother Nature wants to put a string of nice days together, I know a lot of you guys would be loving that. But here goes the GFS, mean ridge and trough position here. You can see we get that clip there early next week. It keeps us from warming up for consecutive days there. But then you can see this troughing just dig out off the west coast here. So good agreement with that through next week. The GFS and the European painting that deep trough offshore here. So we may get active again here later, late next week. We'll have to watch that one closely here. And then the GFS really doesn't build much of a ridge into the extended as the Gulf of Alaska troughing keeps going as we go into the end of May and early June here. Look at that trough the GFS wants to paint there, but that's still a ways out there. We'll see how this develops. This is the Canadian. Let's see what the Canadian leans towards. You can see we get that little clip from the north there, and then yeah, a little bit of ridging, but this trough, all three models are in good agreement that later on mid next week we're going to get this troughing to return. So that's going to be the story for the upcoming week there. But joy tomorrow, look at this. All the ensemble members are pointing up towards around 70 degrees on the European model tomorrow. So it should be a very nice day. Just be some high clouds coming in the afternoon, and a very weak system that's mainly clouds will roll through Monday morning, but it will cool us down a bit as you see the differences here as we get down below 65 generally. But we could be up around 70 for much of Seattle, but we cool off for Tuesday, Wednesday, or actually Monday and Tuesday here. We warm up a bit Wednesday afternoon again, but we'll see how this goes off into the future. There may be a transient ridge building in there before that next system rolls across the area. This is for SeaTac, calling for a high of 68, but this could easily be bumped up towards 70 or even the low 70s for some of the surrounding areas before we cool down a bit, maybe warm up a bit before the next deep trough comes in later next week. Here's for Portland. Looks like today and tomorrow, pretty good days for Portland. As you can see, it's going to be a lot of sunshine down there, and they could easily get to the low 70s, I think, on Sunday. This might be underdoing it a little bit, and then maybe even a little bit better ridging as we go on into midweek before another trough develops, as we saw. So yeah, enjoy these picturesque clouds today. If you guys look off in the Cascades last night, there was a really nice one to the northeast of Seattle, a nice sunset reflecting off it. It was producing lightning during the daytime. As soon as the the daytime heating went away, that thunderstorm kind of collapsed pretty quickly. It's going to be the case again today. So if you get your cameras out, if you're up in the mountains especially, check out some of those thunderstorm clouds. They should look pretty good again today. And then we're going to bring this next system in here Sunday night after a warm day Sunday for much of the region. And this will just kind of cool us down for a couple of days. And then we're going to go back into that deep troughing later on through next week. It looks like all models are in agreement on that troughing. We'll check to see our thunderstorm potential with that as well. So hope you guys are going to enjoy the sunshine today where available, and watch those clouds build over the Cascades, Olympics, Vancouver Island, southern BC, and eastern Washington, Oregon, and Idaho today for thunderstorm potential. So if you guys would, click like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.